Okay guys, welcome back to Miller RC. Today we're going to be doing another tutorial video. My last one about setting the balsa wood 3D planes up properly went really good, so we're going to do another one. So today I'm going to show you how I seal the hinge gaps on my control surface. I know on a lot of comments on YouTube I comment and say one of the best things you can do, at least in my personal opinion, is to seal your hinge gaps. It makes your airplane look better and also perform better, especially on the roll axis. I noticed the roll rate goes up quite a bit when you seal the hinge gaps. Now I do it on every control surface, the ailerons, elevator, and rudder, which, by the way, look at this beautiful plane right here. Hopefully we can get some videos on it soon, coming shortly. But like I said, I like to cover my, I like to seal my hinge gaps on all my control surfaces. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do an aileron, because it's the hardest one, because it tapers from, or it gets thicker at the root here than it is at the tip. So I'm going to demonstrate how we do it, and hopefully go from there. So the materials, I like to use covering. You know, a lot of people, you can use blender and tape if you want, just whatever you can get in there to seal it. I like to use covering because you can really get the strip of covering set in there and really fine tune it and really get it in there and make it look nice. So go ahead and get your irons heated up, and we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, let's go ahead and get this started. So as you can see, here is my strip of covering. It's all also folded in half. It's pretty self-explanatory. You measure your length of the wing, and then from bevel to bevel, and on ailerons it's going to taper, like I said earlier in the beginning. What I do is I get my bevel to bevel measurement, but then I decrease about 2 millimeters, especially on the trailing edge here, mainly because I don't like covering up that. You can see the edge of that black pinstripe right there. That's just something I do. To me, it makes it look less pronounced that the actual piece of covering's in there. But if you want to get really fancy, what a lot of people do is they'll, since my main color is yellow, they'll stick their main color in, and then they'll actually put a piece of black, in my case, across here to make it look really snazzy, or make it look really good. But to me, just the yellow piece of covering is good enough. So that's basically how you do that. And then a tip for you is, when you're folding this in half right here, do it while it's on your big piece of covering, or your roll. I gotta cut it from this little piece because it's a lot easier to do that instead of trying to fold it in half, because it's so skinny. You're gonna have a pretty hard time. So I find it a lot easier to fold it in half while it's still on the big piece of covering. So just a note there. All right, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but I got some pen marks in there on that piece of covering. So to prevent that from getting all over your plane and on your iron, take some rubbing alcohol and wipe that all off and get rid of it, because the heat of the irons will kind of make it run everywhere, or get everywhere on in your hinge gap, or in your hinge. So hinge area, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, but and then it sticks to your iron, and then if you don't clean your iron off, it goes everywhere on your other planes, and it's not very nice. So I'm going to make sure this is really folded in half well. Alright, and then while you have your rag of alcohol, take your wing, or your feet, whatever you're working with, wing in my case, and also rub some alcohol down in there, just to make sure it's completely clean. Okay, let's get my model stand here. I'm going to prop this up to where you can see it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and iron this in here. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You just set it down on the hinge gap and then you start ironing it. For ailerons though, you really want to make sure this is folded a lot sharper, just because ailerons usually don't have as much travel. They don't have as much travel as the elevator rudder, so they have to be kind of folded a little bit more sharply to get all the way in there. So Alright, so once you have that, another thing in case I haven't mentioned it is make sure when you're ironing this all down, make sure your control surface is at full deflection. I'm using a piece of masking tape, as you can see here, to hold it. Yeah, I'm using a piece of masking tape to hold it while I do this. So, alright, let's go ahead and start ironing it in. Now, I really like to use a trim seal tool to do it. It's just, you know, for these smaller models, it's a lot easier to get it in there, so it makes it a lot easier for at least these smaller models. The bigger ones, you can use the regular iron just fine. Their hinge gaps are a lot wider. Okay, and then I like to use my hobby knife just to make sure that the crease is fully seated in the hinge gap, as you can see, and that makes this process go a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this in, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next step. Alright, so once I get done getting all the wrinkles, or as much as I can, and this piece unfortunately didn't turn out as nice as some of my others. I kind of didn't fold it in half good enough, but it'll work. It just doesn't sit as flat in there as I'd like it to. But anyway, I do like to take the regular iron just because I know it's hotter, and really get the edges of the strip of covering, that little strip, just so I really adhere it down well, because first time I did this, I didn't adhere it good enough, and I kind of have to keep after it to make sure it's ironed down. So but yeah, after that, after this running through this iron pieces, it's pretty much installed, and your hinge gap is sealed. So go ahead and fast forward through this, and then we'll look at the finished product. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this and see what we got. Peel this off without pulling up any covering, hopefully, and see how it works. We got good travel movement, and we hardly hear any crackling. I know my first time I didn't deflect it far enough, and I got a lot of crackling noises, so I didn't like that. But I don't know if we can sight through down here or not. You can see that, barely see it. It's not sticking up at all. It's really in there. So yeah, that's pretty much how I go about sealing my hinge gaps. I know there's a lot of my comments I recommend sealing the hinge gaps, so I thought I would show you how I do it. So that is how I seal my hinge gaps. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, or like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. If I missed anything, leave a comment down below, and hopefully soon we can get some videos of this 52-inch Slick 580. Can't wait. So thank you guys for watching MilRC, and tune in next time.